I think an entrepreneurial leader in the third sector has to be good at problem solving and looking at the world in a new way. We are often asked as leaders in third sector organisations to do a lot with very little resources. So you have to be quite creative as an entrepreneurial leader to understand where opportunities are, what kind of assets you have, and how you can do interesting things with those assets. I think entrepreneuriality has a lot to do with being creative. Yes, they need to have a really good understanding of the assets of the charity or the NGO that they work for, and that's not just physical things like buildings or perhaps people, but the less tangible things, the reputation of the charity, the volunteers that they have, the goodwill that they can use with partners. You need to be able to find ways to do interesting and creative things with those. I think a good leader in the charity sector needs to have a lot of persistence as well. You really need to kind of keep going. It's quite a difficult environment to work in, but persistence is definitely key. But most of all, I think they need to be good communicators. The job of the leader, I think, is often to describe for the whole organisation and for the people that it serves what you're doing in the world and the journey that you're on and the ultimate destination that you want to get to. You have to describe that process and that journey and help people who work for the charity and volunteer for the charity understand what their part is in it. A good leader is often a very good narrator, a good storyteller. Oh, unfortunately, I have to be very entrepreneurial, so I hope it works what I'm saying. But my role in my current charity is all about trying to commercialise the expertise that we have in our staff team, find new income streams and new people to buy the knowledge and the expertise that we have. So it's very connected to changing our financial model, and that is a lot to do with understanding the value of what you have and who will buy that essentially. I suppose leadership is relevant in every sector, but the important quality is about understanding the landscape that you're in. For charities, a lot of what we do, the benefit of it is not financial. The benefit is social, the benefit is cultural, and it can often be very difficult to describe the value of that to people who think purely in financial terms. Governments have to think in money as well as other areas. People in the private sector think in financial terms for everything, whereas the value of what we do is different to that. So leadership is about explaining that in a way that really makes sense to people who don't work in the charity sector. I think really good communication and really good accountability. In the charity sector, you don't have the same tools that you might have in a private organisation where you can reward your staff financially or you can give them other benefits. People work for a charity because they believe in it and their heart is in it. So you can't force people to work in a certain way or act in a certain way, so you have to be a good communicator. Competencies that leaders in the voluntary sector should have, we've been discussing a lot of those today. The one that really stood out for me as being very important was about ethical leadership and sustainability thinking. A lot of the other competencies, as a leader, you can foster them in your organisation in other people. You can inspire other people to be creative, to spot opportunities. You can even delegate some of that responsibility. But at a leadership level, I think you probably have to be the one that's responsible for the ethical decision making and the financial sustainability of the organisation. That's something that you can't pass to others, although you can share the process with others. So for me, that's the key one. I do think it's possible to create a European framework of competencies for third sector leaders. It's been really heartening and encouraging today here, talking to lots of colleagues from around Europe, people from Italy, people from Spain, people from the Netherlands, I think. And what's really encouraging is that everybody shares a similar view of the world. We're all talking about the same sorts of problems, and we're all approaching them in similar ways. So if we can agree on those things, then I think a competency framework that works for all countries is certainly possible.